doing today?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Yeah. However, I found out some tricky problems when it comes to English writing. So I'm wondering if you can help me with it.
Sure.
Okay. Right. The one is this one. The one that I learned is I have learned the word few and also the word a few, which is number one and number five. I learned the difference in the past however, I'm not so sure from 1 to 5 they all mean a small number. So can you tell us what's the difference? Or maybe there's no difference.
Sure. So the meaning of few is, of course, it just means a small number, like you said. The only difference here is in the usage and the context of the sentences being used. It either has a negative sense or it has a positive sense. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by negative and positive is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? Mm-hmm. So something where you have a statement where a few is used, but it winds up being a good thing in the statement. Like, for example, there was a few people attended the lunch, but there was a lot of food for everyone. Mm-hmm. So that would be an example of a positive sense. So when you use few, when you use like the numbers 1 through 4, few, very few, only a few, it's usually in a negative sense. Mm-hmm. Whereas 5 and 6, a few, quite a few, is in a positive sense. So when you use the last two, it means that in the statement it's a good thing, whereas the others it's usually a bad thing.
Okay, so here is the thing. So in other words, when it is something, when we talk about something in a negative sense, we would have to choose the right word, meaning a small amount as well. And for example, few is often used in a negative sense. So here I put it in a red color. I color it red. And a few, like you said, usually is used in a positive sense. So I colored it green. And colors have to match. And cancel means something negative. So number one, let me try it. So few people attended the meeting, so it was canceled. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. That's a correct usage of few.
Okay. All right. Okay, so number two. So in other words, it would be wrong if I said a few people, which is something usually is used in a positive sense, green. A few people attended the meeting, so it was canceled. It would be wrong if I said it. Am I correct?
It's usually wrong. I mean, it's not. There's nothing grammatically wrong with it, but it's just when we use when you see the phrase or these two words together, a few, it's usually used in a positive sense. There's no hard rule about this. It's mostly a soft rule concerning the usage of a few here.
Okay, so grammatically correct. However, so you said it's grammatically correct. Number two, grammatically correct. However, what?
However, you won't see the usage of a few in this sense very often. So a few, when a few is used, it's usually used in a positive sense rather than a negative.
Okay. All right. Okay, so let me try number 3 here. Okay, so only a few means something negative as well. Usually it's used in a negative sense. So only a few people attended the meeting, so it was canceled, and it is correct.
Correct.
Okay, and number 4, very few or few is often used in a negative sense, and the challenging usually means something negative, I think. So it would be better if I said she had very few friends in a new city. It's been challenging for her socially.
Right, correct.
Okay. And number 5, it'll be off. I wouldn't say it'll be incorrect. Like you said, it's grammatically correct, but the usage is off. It'll be a little bit off if I said she has a few friends in the new city. It's been challenging for her socially because a few usually is used in a positive sense, and then challenging is something negative.
Yes, in the context of this sentence, it's negative, or the implication of the sentence is negative. So therefore, you would use she has few friends in the new city rather than a few friends.
Okay. All right. And then number 6 and then only a few only a few also is often used in a negative sense. So and then challenging is usually in this context it means something negative. So colors have to be matched. And then she has only a few friends in the new city. It's been challenging for her socially, and that's correct.
Right, correct.
Okay. And then last one, it will be off if I say she has quite a few friends in the new city. It's been challenging for her socially because quite a few usually is used in a positive sense, but challenging in this context means something negative. And
yeah, especially for this one, quite a few, as far as I know, is only used in a positive sense.
Okay, only used in positive sense as far as you know. Okay, all right. And then no wonder. This is the verse from the Bible. Okay, all right. Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and the broad is the road that leads to destruction, and the many enter through it. And verse 14, but small is the gate. Small, I would say something negative in this sense, in this context. And narrow, small is the gate, and the narrow, the road. And the narrow, I would say, is something negative in this context that leads to life. And because it's negative, and then so only a few find it. It's correct.
Right.
All right.
So grammatically
correct. All of them are correct. But
yeah, grammatically, if you were to say and a few find it, it would be okay, but it would be to a native speaker, it would sound a little off because we don't use the statement a few in a negative sense very often, and especially you would never use quite a few find it, like in this context, like you would never use that. So here, only a few, even though it has a few in the structure of it, the only negates the positive connotation of a few.
And so in other words, if I say few find it, very few find it, it's okay as well. Am I right? Number 1, number 2, it's okay.
Right. You could substitute only a few with few, very few.
Okay then.
Right.
All right. So thank you so much for helping today, Tom. And I got it.
All right. Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay. So I'll see you next time then.
All right. Take care. See you next time.
Okay.